So I thought I'd make a YouTube video on some tips and tricks and how to just like play Apex better, how to not get yourself killed. This game has a real rush meta. And it does work, you know, you just grab a Peacekeeper, R99, you rush in, hope for the best. But there's a lot of things you can do to improve your chance of survival. Like if it gets frustrating how many times you go down per battle, like this will definitely help reduce that. And you know, you can get to higher kill games the less you go down. Number one would be use cover. Like wherever possible, make use of cover and take advantage of the high ground. It makes you like so much harder to hit, and so often when I die it's because I left my cover and I went out in the open thinking I could challenge them. Like you rely on your aim being better than theirs if you're not using cover, but if their aim is good or they just get a lucky shot off, you're dead. But if you have cover, that could block like half of the bullets that could have went into you. Instead they go into the cover. It just makes you a much harder target to hit. And when you're using cover, I'm not saying like camp behind one thing and stand still, because that's like the worst way to use cover. No, like you want to move around the cover. You want to be constantly moving, using it to your advantage. And then, you know, when you do some good damage to them, that's when you can leave your cover. Like when you've gotten the first couple hits off, then you can exit the cover and finish them off with a spray of bullets. Number two would be wait. Like be patient, time your shots, especially if you're using something like a longbow. Like you'll see in this clip right here, I don't take the shot when I first see him. I wait until he goes to loot and he thinks the area is safe and he's standing still, and then I get a headshot off on him. Even if it had have just been a body shot, it could have been 2 body shots, whatever. I get the first hit in because I was patient. But if you take the shots before you have like a clear target, all you're doing is alerting them to your position, you're alerting third parties to your position, you're giving them a chance to get cover. You want them to think that, you know, nobody's watching them, right? Like, but in reality, like you're just lining up a shot and then they end up healing in the open. Like you'll see in this next clip, like I wait. I see 2 people, I see that they're fighting, so I let them fight rather than get involved, and then I reposition until I get a good view of it. There's a Gibraltar, he's healing, and then I line up a shot, get a good headshot off. Before he has a chance to pop his dome shield, I finish him off. So being patient with your shots is so important in this game. Another thing me and my friends will do is we'll all line up a shot. Because we hear people coming from, say, inside bunker, we'll wait until we all have a clear shot, and then we'll fire at the same time on the same guy, and they won't have a chance. Like if you time your shots with your teammates, like if you're all mic'd up, that's like the best way to get a kill. Like don't be kill thirsty and selfish and wanting to get the kill for yourself. Instead, like time your shots with your teammates, and it gives the enemy like way less chance to get away. And if you down a person right at the beginning of a battle, like a lot of times that decides the outcome of it. Number 3 would be know when to push. I kind of touched on this when I said with using cover, like you want to wait till you get the first couple shots off and then you want to exit your cover and finish them. But it's so important to know when a good time to push is and when isn't a good time to push. The general idea is that everybody carries, you know, a mid-range weapon, a close-range weapon, and maybe some people carry a long-range weapon like a longbow or a G7 Scout. And you wait until, like, as a team, you're communicating with your team, you wait until at least one person's shield is cracked before you start to push up. But if you can, wait till a couple of their shields are cracked or till someone's downed, and then start making your push. If you push too early, you're gonna go up against like possibly 3 people with full shields. Like even if you thought there was just one person, there could always be a third party coming, or his teammates could have been around the corner. Whatever the case, if you first break their shields, then that forces a couple of them to be in a healing state, and they can't back up their teammate when you push, and then you take them out, and then you pull back, heal yourself, and then let your teammates continue the push. That's a big one in this game, is like knowing how to rotate to get your heals off, as well as to let your teammates have a chance to heal, and just like, you know, to continue the battle, because it is, if you rotate correctly, you can survive a long time, even if you get third party. So for number 4, I'll focus more on the rotation aspect I was mentioning. So in this situation, we have a team behind us, we have a team in front of us, but I'm still taking the time to heal. My teammates are taking the time to heal. While they're healing, I'm pushing up so that it gives them a chance to get those heals off, and then I'm pulling back. I'm using the cover, making sure to try to avoid both teams. Like, there's so limited cover. I'm throwing grenades. Grenades are a great way to buy yourself time to rotate. If you're ever in a situation where you're pinched, you can toss a bunch of grenades and it'll slow down the teams from being able to push you. Right now, like, I'm laying down fire because they're trying to get a revive off. So by laying down fire, it gives them cover to do this. And then I myself get low, so I make sure to heal up, because, you know, don't be a hero. You want to make sure that you yourself are also healed. But yeah, basically it's just about like knowing how to heal yourself and how to give your teammates time to heal, because this is like, you know, 6 people we're fighting and there's only the 3 of us, but we're staying alive because we're using cover and we're rotating correctly, healing ourselves up whenever we can, getting knocks whenever possible. But at the same time, we're not rushing in, we're holding our position, and we only rush in when we're down to the final 2 people, because we know it's a good time to push. So for number 5, I'm going to cover rotations again, but this is a different kind of rotation. So I was covering battle rotations, which is like knowing when to heal, when to push, and how to cover your teammates. But map rotations are just as important. Basically, that means like you finish a battle, you loot up as quickly as possible, and then you get out of that area. Because every time you fire gunshots, nearby squads are going to hear that, and they're going to start rushing towards the gunshots. That's why third parties are so awful in this game. Like, you'll finish a battle and then suddenly there's another team on you. But some third parties can be prevented just by moving your position each time you finish a battle, and like knowing how to move it fast. Like, you try to quickly loot up, try to, you know, get everything you need, but then you move to another location. The third parties will arrive to your location, but you've already left, and more than likely they'll end up fighting each other, and then you can come back and third party them, you know, catch them in their own trap. But yeah, that's super important in this game. A lot of people I play with, and even myself included, I'm sometimes guilty of it, but they spend too long looting, and that's what gets them killed. Like, this game is all about moving quick. Like, if you spend too long in one spot, you're gonna get smacked by a number of squads at the same time. And if you're not prepared for it, like if you're, you know, face deep in a loot box, you're gonna go down really quickly. Part of rotations is also knowing when to leave a teammate behind, because it happens in this game. There's certain situations where you can't do anything to save them. They're just in a terrible spot, and if you try to help them out, you're gonna die yourself, and then it's game over. If you can continue the game with, you know, one teammate left alive, or even just trying to solo it, it's better than having to, you know, end the game due to a stupid push into a full man, into a full team of 3. Because you will get caught off guard sometimes by these third parties, and sometimes you just gotta leave. You gotta peace out of there. Anyway, hopefully you take away something from these tips. Obviously, it takes a lot. Like, it's one thing to hear the tip, but it's another to actually like put it into practice. I'm sometimes guilty of not using cover enough, and sometimes it gets me killed. Also, sometimes my rotations, as I said, are a bit slow because I spend too long looting, but it's, you know, it's something you constantly work on to get better at the game. If you take anything away from this video, like if it helps you out, let me know. I'd love to make more videos like this and, you know, going more in depth about strategies that I use from battle to battle. It's a lot for one video, so I figured this would be a good time to end this one, just kind of covering some of the basics. Feel free to drop any suggestions or criticisms, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Oh shit.
Get the fuck out of there!
Go, 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 go. Oh. Oh fuck.